Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we've got something a little bit different. So usually I'm always sort of doing tutorials and useful kind of videos, but this one's just going to be a bit chilled. I basically got this new tool today, and I do apologise, we're probably dealing with some bad lighting and some bad audio quality, but I'm not too bothered. I just wanted to shoot a video quickly. So basically I've decided to buy this Dremel Workstation. Now I already have a Dremel Tool. I don't have the official Dremel brand tool, but I've got something very similar, which is from the manufacturer Handheld, and this is a really good tool. I've had it for many years, but I've never actually had the workstation to mount it in, so I've always kind of used it by hand. And these workstations are really awesome because, you know, if you're doing anything sort of small little projects, these kind of tools are amazing. It looks very much like a pillow drill. That's basically what it is. It's a mini pillow drill. I didn't really want to splash out and get a full pillow drill for my setup here. It's quite a small setup, and maybe one day when I get my own workshop or something like that, what I'll do is buy a proper pillow drill. But for now, that's sort of out of my budget and out of my needs, because pillow drills are typically, they're really high powered machines for woodwork, serious woodwork and metalwork. And I'm just kind of working with 3D prints, PCBs and small things like that. So the reason I wanted to buy this basically is I've been doing a lot more 3D prints lately, and I've been printing things such as these little gears, right? So these print pretty accurately, to be honest, on the Prusa Mark III, but oftentimes you'll see you probably can't see that too well because the lighting sucks, but there's a hole in the middle basically, right, where the rod goes through and it's able to spin freely as a gearbox. And while the holes print fairly accurately, usually I have to do a bit of cleaning up so it can spin freely. And usually what I do to do stuff like that is I'd use something like this, which is, you know, your standard sort of handheld power drill. And these tools are amazing. I really love this power drill. But, you know, when you're using small drill bits and you're trying to drill a perfectly straight hole, for something like a gear it needs to be perfectly straight because it needs to spin with no friction. And if there's a little bit of wobble in the gear, you're going to have friction and it's going to mess up your gearing. So to try and, as I said, drill a perfectly straight hole by hand while holding one of these, it never works perfectly, right? You can do it, but it'll take a few tries. What you want for something like that is a workstation like this and a tool like a Dremel. And it just allows you to do really accurate holes, and you can do so much more with a Dremel. You can attach sanding bits, you can do polishing with sort of metal wire brushes and things. There's so much stuff, but I've wanted to get one of these for ages, and as I said, I have my own tool. So I looked online, I looked at some reviews, and the tool I have fits into this workstation. So this brand Dremel is probably the best brand you can go for in terms of buying a Dremel itself, but also the chassis and the stand, you can't really go wrong with it. So, and what I love is that it fits other rotary drill tools. It just kind of screws in by the adapter at the bottom. You need to make sure you need to check that your tool will fit, but 9 times out of 10 it's going to fit. So what I'm going to do is basically put this thing together. I'm going to unbox it, build it, and I'll probably do some kind of time-lapse thing, but I'll probably butt in now and again and say a few things. But basically I wanted to post a video, and I thought what better way than to build a new tool, and I'll show you it working at the end, and it's going to be awesome for my 3D prints in the future. So let's have a go. So that's basically it. As you can see, it's nice and simple to put together. It's basically just a stand and this nice little tool holder, and you can see that once you mount a Dremel in there, you can just pull down the lever and you drill straight holes, and that's basically all there is to it. But it's such an awesome tool. I've used them before in work, and you know, I really want one at home. I'm really going to get a lot out of this tool, especially for my 3D printing projects. So what I'm going to do now is mount the Dremel and I'll try it, see how it goes. Okay, so as you can see, I've now mounted the Dremel to the workstation, and it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. And just as an example, I wanted to show you the different kinds of pieces you can mount to the Dremel. So you can see we've got these sort of wire brushes, and these are really good for cleaning things up, especially your 3D printer nozzle. So all that plastic gets caught up on your 3D printed nozzle, and as long as you can heat it up to temperature to obviously melt the plastic, these things really clean them up. And I recently cleaned up the nozzle on my Mark III, and it came up like new, and I didn't even need to replace it, it just cleaned up, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, you can also sort of put on these little sanding discs, so if you're doing woodwork, perfect for that. You know, if you're doing fine little wooden pieces, you can really get stuck in with some awesome work. So just as an example, if I turn it on, it's probably going to get noisy, but you can see that, you know, I can just pull the lever and drill those perfectly straight holes. If I switch it on, I've actually got a block of wood here so I can demonstrate. So if we actually switch it off, we'll increase the height a little bit. That's what I love about these tools, they're just so adjustable on the spot. So you want to clamp it in place. There we go. You can mark out your point before you turn the machine on. You can just hit it on and then go straight in. And it's that simple. Also you can speed the tool up as well. So if you want to go really fast. And that's it. Perfect straight holes. And that's basically why I wanted a Dremel. If you're kind of into 3D printing and basically a maker and you're doing projects, this is a must-have tool, to be honest. I'll leave a link to it in the description if any of you are interested, but yeah, I'm really excited to sort of use this on my projects, and especially for these little gears. It might be tricky to drill them. I have to hold them while I do it, or some kind of clamp them down somehow. But yeah, I'm going to be able to achieve much better results with my gearbox. And I'm currently working on a new project. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see what I'm up to. If you're not, go check me out on Instagram. But basically, I'm doing a robot project, and I'm doing it in stages. So I've got to sort of do it one mini project at a time, and the first part is designing and building a gearbox, and I'm trying to 3D print the whole thing, aside from obviously these metal rods. So the gears slide on to the metal rods just like this. Let me show you like that. So you mount the rods in a gearbox and then they spin, and that gives you your output drive. So that's going to be an awesome project, and I'm going to document the whole thing because that gearbox project is pretty interesting, especially from a 3D printed standpoint, because that's a pretty good question to ask. You know, can you actually 3D print a small gearbox? I know people have done it on a larger scale with big chunky gears, and that's not so difficult because plastic, especially PETG, tends to be stronger at a bigger size. But when you're talking tiny teeth on a gear like this, they can break pretty easily and they're quite thin. So far I've had some pretty good results with it, but I'll save that for a later video. That's basically it for this video. Bit of a different one, as I said, but maybe I'll do more things like this. Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I've got a new tool. I'm really happy with it. So before you go, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate all of you that subscribe and watch my videos. It means a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more videos, and please leave a thumbs up on this video if you found it useful. If you want to support me in other ways, there's a link in the description below where you can do that, but it's up to you. If you want to see more of my videos, click one of these, and I hope you have an awesome day.